Luke, we were waiting on a bus of evacuees, the first of those evacuees secreted or brought out of that plant in Mariupol. What more can you tell us? The bus has arrived now, has it not?
Well, I'll step aside and let you look for yourself. You can see behind me those buses have arrived just really about 10 to 15 minutes ago, all coming here to Zaporizhzhia and the outskirts of the city at a commercial centre. You can see a lot of deep press interest here. Now, what we were told that there were 127 people on board. The breakdown was that 69 of them had come from the Azovstal factory, with 58 that had been picked up elsewhere, joining along the route. They are mostly women and children, with males under 18 and no soldiers. The bus and the convoy was subject to extreme delays along the way. There had been reports that it was arriving yesterday, perhaps later on, reports constantly throughout the morning that it was going to arrive. And finally, they've made it through on this afternoon. Now, the people there are taking advantage of the humanitarian corridor. We've seen arrivals here in Zaporizhzhia all day. Every few hours, more minibuses and cars, private vehicles making their way out from the south and back into Ukrainian-controlled territory. Now, we've seen that others have been joining and slowing that pace, which is likely the reason that they are late in getting in. Now, NGOs, other organisations are very much on hand here. The concern now is that is one of medical issues. The fact that after they've spent weeks and weeks under Russian bombardment, the danger of a psychological collapse, now that they are back in safe territory, as it were, that the pressure is going to come off, and there could, as we were told earlier, be a state of psychological collapse.
Okay, hopefully they won't be too overwhelmed as well, Luke, by all of the interest in what's been happening to them and their evacuation. Now, I understand as well, Luke, that the Vice Prime Minister or Deputy Prime Minister of Ukraine is on site for these evacuations and their arrival. Can you tell us more about that?
She was. Irina Vereshchuk was here in Zaporizhzhia. She came out to speak to the press at length around about 45 minutes ago, and she had several messages saying that a deep amount of praise for President Volodymyr Zelensky, saying that he was the driving force behind the ceasefire. And the message to the world that she had was that this ceasefire can work, and that now the concern must turn to everyone else that is still in Mariupol, that is still in the Azovstal complex. Tens of thousands of women, children and elderly that are still stuck there, that need to be brought out. It proves that the ceasefire can in fact work. After weeks of trying for humanitarian corridors, we have one that has in fact succeeded in its objectives. Now, with reports of renewed Russian bombardment on the Azovstal complex, she also had this to say after we asked her what message the Russians were trying to send.
Okay, and I think we can actually take a listen into what the Deputy Prime Minister has been saying. Let's take a listen to what she had to say a little earlier.
This is the Russian Federation's aim, to bomb Ukraine until the last Ukrainian soldier is dead. We repeat once again, Azovstal cannot be Putin's main target. It cannot be his target while civilians are still there. As an officer, I understand that our soldiers are positioned there, but there are still civilians there too. Despite everything that's been done in the last 2 days with the humanitarian corridors, civilians are still inside the Azovstal plant. The world needs to know this.
Okay, we were hearing there, Luke, from the Deputy Prime Minister. Just a quick word, what more? Can you tell us any more about what's happening at Mariupol? Civilians still inside that plant, according to the Deputy Prime Minister.
There are a great number of civilians still not just left inside Azovstal, but inside Mariupol as a whole. The question is, the stories that we have been hearing over the last few days, it's extremely difficult for people to move. People have been telling us, one man who's been driving back and forth from here in Zaporizhzhia, taking supplies in and out of in El Hadar. That's about 120 kilometers away, and it took him 7 hours to get there. Another family trying to get out of a village around about 40 kilometers away. It took him 2 hours to get here. So things are very, very slow. It's very, very difficult for people to move. Obviously, there's a great number of Russian checkpoints that need to be gone through, and the delays really are. It's at that point where things slow down. The simple fact is that even while this humanitarian corridor is holding, the sheer difficulty that they have to go through to ensure that they're not filtered out or retained back in Russian-controlled territory, it really is very difficult for it to move forward. That's what we're going to be looking for as the situation moves forward now.
All right, Luke, thanks for that update.